Or I've done it. It's all over. Welcome everybody. Nice to see a good crowd again. And so, getting started here where you will. Review do the roll call vote when you're ready.
Mr. Scarra?
Here.
Mr. Lindeman?
Here.
Ms. Lozak?
Here.
Ms. Gerber? Here. Mr. Vanabunker?
Here. All present accounted for. Had a chance to review the consent agenda for tonight's meeting?
Yes.
I would offer a motion to accept the consent agenda for tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
Motion made by Terry Lindeman, seconded by Terry Zozak, to accept the consent agenda for tonight's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Guest speaker, Daniel Mosier from MMR UMass. Daniel? Okay. Yes.
You want
Love
to come
you
up
to
here,
speak
yeah.
up.
You can use that one if you want.
There we go. That's better because I'm soft-spoken. So good evening. My name is Dan Moschholder. I'm the operations manager for MMR here in Manistee County. I cover Wexford County as well. I've been in this position going on 4 years now. Been a paramedic at an EMS for 12 years, fire side as well. So I'm just here tonight mainly to introduce myself. I have a lot of townships that I cover between the two counties, and it's hard to get to all of them because all the board meetings clash. So this is my first Stronach meeting, but wanted to come and give you guys my contact information. That way you guys have that. If any residents ever have any issues, you guys know how to get a hold of me. That's my cell phone on there. Just a quick little bit about MMR is we are a nonprofit ambulance service. We cover the majority of Manistee County with exception to the city. And then we provide ALS services to Norman Township and then the Coatmish area as well. So we do staff 3 24-hour ambulances in the county. 2 of those are in Manistee behind the hospital. One of those 24-hour trucks is out in Calava, and then we staff 2 12-hour trucks as well, like 4 days a week. And those are split between Calava and Manistee as well. So generally we're running about 4 to 5 trucks a day. A few days a week we have 5 trucks, but it is getting busier out there, so we're constantly shifting our trucks around to keep up with the demand. But other than that, we just have the 2 stations. Back when I started in 21 with MMR, we did struggle to staff even 2 trucks. So it's really proud to say that we've got the trucks that we have now and the staff that we have now. We have a great group. So obviously Stronach is one of our areas that we cover, fairly large township. It's kind of where we're at. So do you guys have any questions for me as far as the board? Great. Well, and like I said, I'm split between both counties, so I have an office in both. I'm in Manistee primarily, but if anybody ever has concerns with us, questions about us, billing concerns, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You guys are welcome to share my contact information with your residents as well. So
I do have one concern, and that is obviously you know that we have a steering committee for our fire authority, suggested fire authority coming up. What do you have to say about that?
yeah, so obviously we do have our own concerns with that as well. The townships that are kind of part of that steering committee are higher volume townships, like Manistee Township, Filer, Onekama. So there is concerns there. If that gets off the ground, it would take a large amount of volume away from us. And it really comes down to our sustainability for the rest of the county at that point. So we'll still have the north half of the county. And we do interfacility transfers with the hospital as well. So that helps with a lot of our sustainability, but they kind of work together as far as the 911s and the transfers. And our ratio is 70-30. So we're 70% 911s and then 30% interfacility transfers. And for those who don't know what that means, the interfacility part, it's if you have a loved one that goes to Manistee Hospital and they're having a heart attack or a stroke or major trauma because they were just in a bad accident, Manistee's very limited They don't have surgery there. They don't have cath lab. So MMR is who transfers those patients up to Traverse City, down to Grand Rapids, and then sometimes we go as far as Ann Arbor, Detroit as well. So obviously there's concerns there too. If those patients are in Manistee and MMR, we have to downsize to remain sustainable, like who's going to move those patients to? So, but yes, it is a concern for our sustainability as well.
So, let me ask you this. As far as MMR goes and ambulance availability, you have two, right?
Right now?
Yes.
Right now we have
You have
four.
one in Calivo, one down by the West Shore?
So we have two 24-hour trucks by the hospital,
Okay.
and then a 12-hour truck by the hospital. And then in Calivo, we have a 24-hour truck and a 12-hour truck that's staffed 4 days a week.
Okay, so basically they're separate trucks. So you got 4 trucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason, it's like that second truck out in Calivo, we just started that in April. It was down here. What we were doing is when Calivo went out, we were shifting a truck up there to maintain coverage for the residents of that part of the county, which was happening quite a bit. It's getting busier. So in April, we said, we're just going to move a whole truck up there. That way there's 2. So if one goes out, the other one's likely there.
Them all ALS trucks or BLS trucks?
So right now, there is three of them are ALS, 2 are BLS. And my goal is by the end of summer, early fall, we're going to start transitioning the 24-hour BLS truck into ALS.
For the folks sitting in the audience, explain what is ALS and BLS.
So ALS is advanced life support, and BLS is basic life support. Basically, the difference is advanced life support is a paramedic unit. Usually has a paramedic on the ambulance. Basic life support is 2 EMTs. And then the difference between service with the 2 of them, advanced life support, we can do more invasive procedures, cardiac monitoring, IV therapy, intubation. And then the paramedics carry like 26 medications. Basic life support units carry 7 medications. So large difference there in medications as well. And then we have what we call it's an echo unit in the county. It's not staffed full-time right now. It's kind of like an overtime unit or a supervisor unit. But that's usually a paramedic that drives around solo in a vehicle. So if they need to, what we call intercept with the basic life support ambulance, they'll jump on board and upgrade them to advanced life support at that point, which is what we commonly do in Wellston and Coatmish with Thompsonville's ambulance.
Okay. So I just want to, stick on this too. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I believe our steering committee, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we've been doing this for months now, as far as the authority goes, is I don't think they're real interested in transport from Manistee to Traverse City. So, no.
Not the authority.
And so I don't think that part of it would be phased at all if it did happen. So,
Yeah, and it's hard to tell how that would go right now. But like I said, if MMR just gets pushed to the north end of the county, there's not a lot of volume in those areas, so that's where the sustainability concerns come in for us. And
okay. I don't have anything else for him. Does anybody else got any questions for the gentleman?
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you having me out.
It's not public comment yet.
Yes. Appreciate you guys having me out. And if anybody has any questions, I'll hang around.
Okay,
for the
yeah,
meantime.
that'd be good.
So,
I see we got somebody that does have
Yes.
questions. So, yeah.
thank you.
Fire authority update, Logan?
No real major updates as of right now. We got another meeting starting tomorrow. Website's in development. We had a photographer come around and do pictures. We get updated information with that. Get that up and running so people can go research it. I'm sure everybody's dying to do some of their own research on it. Don't have the exact deadline when they're launching that site. Tom maybe can.
Friday.
Friday it's going to go live. So there'll be a mailer going out in your taxes, I believe.
Yeah.
Was the last thing I heard. We were discussing how many copies, so stay tuned to that. We'll have to put it in your mail for when you get your tax bill. And other than that, it's still just developing. You know, there's going to be a lot of information probably in the next course released to the public as far as website and frequently asked questions and stuff like that. It'll answer a lot of the questions of what people are wondering how it's going to work, who's it going to work with, and why we're going to it.
You have any info on the budget yet?
What was that?
On the budget? Any info on that?
There is a draft budget that has not been approved yet. They're doing some final tweaks on it.
We had that draft budget last month,
I believe that's on the agenda again this week.
so that'll be, I think, yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yep.
Tom, you got anything that you might want to add here?
No, that covers that. Logan mentioned, the website comes live Friday, this upcoming Friday, and that's going to be a good resource for you to get a lot of the additional information. We continue to have steering committee meetings, and they're in closer down to the plan, which will be communicated through our website.
Question and answer mailers. The fire authority chiefs are putting that together. Questions with answers that the public may want to see, and that's going to go out in the
On the website.
on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there will be a town hall meeting
Oh yeah, we'll
too,
definitely have
before
that.
it comes time to vote.
Yeah, basically the timeline is we get the website out, people start viewing it, they get their questions ready, and then we update the frequently asked questions, and as people learn more about it, then we start having the town hall meetings where people can come in.
Exactly.
Face-to-face interaction.
Absolutely, because that's, we're looking to put that on the ballot. If it comes to that, after our town hall meetings, public hearings, and so that all has to transpire yet for those people who are in the audience doesn't know that. That's what's got to happen before we ever even try to put anything on the ballot. Okay.
You pull your speaker closer and talk to your ear.
Wow.
What is the address for that website?
Yeah, it's so the address for the website, it is the Murphy is the acronym, so it's MRFI.
MERFI.
Yeah. Yeah. So it stands for the Manistee Regional Fire Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's so much for the fire authority update. Data center information and update. No news is good news, right? So right now, with the data center, everything hasn't even started. It hasn't even hit the first step yet. Nobody has applied for anything. No one is looking for a special use permit at this point in time. It was just questions, and what happened was we kind of put the cart before the horse. When we had close to 300 people in this place the last time around, really there was no one asking to put a data center in Stronach Township. So only the concept of the idea of what kind of a use they could put it to and what a data center fit in. And that was going to be presented to the Township Planning Commission only at their board meeting. There was supposed to be no contact with the public at that point because he was just there at the Planning Commission to ask. But as everyone knows, everything went south that way. I call it south anyway, but it was a good thing. We had a lot of people here that expressed their opinions, I thought Mr. Boxer held the meeting very well, but for right now, data center stuff is just flat. There's nothing there. I personally talked to Mr. Tondu, and so did Mr. Thompson. I'll have him fill you in too, he did, the other day. And if he does it at all, it's years out. I mean, if he even tries, is the way he explained it to me. He wants to rethink the whole situation over, whether it's a good fit, whether it's not a good fit, and until we get through our moratorium, I mean, there's nothing to be said, nothing to be done, because there's nothing happening. There's just zip, nothing. So if I was a concerned citizen, concerned taxpayer, I would put my mind at ease for quite a while here, because even if they did pursue this, it is a long haul for them to do anything. That's about all I know. That's what Joe Tommy expressed to me. I'm going to let Larry fill us in a little bit on this kind of stuff, because he's up on it on an everyday basis.
Phil covered most of it. They were here for an informational meeting. That's all they wanted to do, is give some information. There was no permit applied for, there was no nothing. They came in and asked, they wanted to present it to the boards, and all they wanted to do is say, hey, look, this is out there, and we're thinking about something that we don't know for sure, because they had a lot to look into. And the phone call, I talked to them the other day, saying is filled in, and there is nothing going, and I don't ever see anything happening to it.
Why didn't he say it was zoned industrial in the meeting? I have it on video.
Sir, he did. It was stated, but it was wrong. Go ahead, Larry.
I told them that.
No, that's what he said.
No, I understand the reason he said that is because I'm the one that told him. When we pulled the permit from the last one that they had out there, it doesn't state in there for that permit, it says industrial use.
But when he presented it to 225 people, he presented it as it was already industrial zone.
Okay, no more questions until we get to public comment. All right, and you can address it at that point, and I will let him. Okay, thank you. That's all I got on data center for right now. Public comment, you can bring it back up, and we'll try to address it. Correspondence, MTA annual dues. Do we want the premium to pass? Well, of course, this MTA annual dues.
That was that paper I gave you the other day, and it had what our dues were, and then if we wanted the extra, so we could.
We've always just paid the regular MTA annual dues. And if that's something that we need to vote on right now, it is monetary, so we'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Scarra,
Yes?
Mr. Lindeman,
Yeah.
Ms. Rozak,
Yes.
Ms. Gerber, yes, Mr. Vadabunker.
Yes. Motion carried. Fire department report. You don't have to, if you speak loud enough.
Okay. Fire department report, last month, fire department responded to a total of 14 emergency calls in the month of May. They were broken down into 12 medical emergencies, 2 brush and grass fires, 1 mutual aid medical call in Township for a total of 14. The Lumberjack 100 at Big M, pre-planning. Lumberjack 100 is a high endurance mountain bike race which is held annually on the trails of the Manistee National Forest surrounding the Big M recreation area. The 2026 event is scheduled for Saturday, June 20th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And right now they're looking at over 1,200 participants that they expect on the forest run day. Events to scale represent a significant emergency medical and fire service planning challenge. will require advanced coordination that begins weeks before the race day. Stronach Township Fire Department has been actively engaged in pre-event planning, meetings with the U.S. Forest Service personnel and the event organizers throughout May. The reasons for this level of involvement are straightforward. With over 1,200 athletes spread across miles of remote trails, the statistical probability of medical emergencies ranging from cardiac events to heat exhaustion to traumatic injuries and crashes is significant. Pre-planning allows us to position personnel and resources for the best possible response. Big M Trail Network runs through the terrain with severely limited cell coverage and spotty radio communications, which means emergency coordination must be planned in advance rather than improvised on race day. Current trail markings exist only at trailheads and a limited number of junction points. This creates a critical gap, and an injured rider may not know where they are, and even if they can reach emergency services, conveying their location is extremely difficult in time-critical situations. So coordinating staging areas, access routes, and jurisdictional interfaces with U.S. Forest Service and other fire departments ensures that the event, if there is a major incident, comes off with no confusion over roles, resources, or access. In parallel with race day planning, Stronach Township Fire Department is also working with the U.S. Forest Service to try to develop a more systematic trail waypoint identification system for the Big M area. Goals to establish clearly marked geographic reference points at regular intervals throughout the trail network, not just at the trailheads or intersections, so that trail users and stress can relay their location to emergency services quickly and accurately. This initiative will benefit not only Long Jack 100 folks, but all year-round users of the Big M Trail system. Further details will be brought forward as the project develops. Michigan Department of Treasury grant program. As you know, I asked for permission to apply for the grant. We were informed by the Michigan Department of Treasury that the grant program had been temporarily suspended. Didn't give us a reason. Said that at some point in time it will reopen back up. And at that time I plan on recently already up for those grants. Community service actions. The firefighters continue to service community above and beyond the boundaries of emergency responses. 2 actions from this month deserve formal recognition and support. Captain Walt Fonseca and his grandson volunteered their time to cut up and clear a tree that had fallen on the Stronach cemetery fence, removing a hazard and preserving the integrity of the cemetery grounds at no cost to the township. Department members also completed the installation of the second of 2 basketball backboard replacements in the parking lot across from the Township Hall, restoring a community recreation resource for the residents. These acts reflect the culture of this department, serve for self every day, not just on calls. Fire and emergency service instructor training. I will be attending week-long training this weekend up north for Fire Service Instructor 1. Manistee Firefighters Association is committed to reimburse these costs, including the books. I also have a request of the board for markings for our UTV. Our current UTV, we've had it for a number of years, but there are no markings on the vehicle to designate it as a fire department vehicle or an emergency vehicle for that matter. It carries no markings other than the emergency lights themselves. In low light and nighttime response scenarios, an unmarked vehicle is far less likely visible on traffic, other responders, and bystanders. Reflective markings significantly increase conspicuity and street publicity and reduce the risk of collision and confusion on incident scenes. Mutual aid deployments or incidents where multiple agencies are present, an unmarked vehicle cannot be quickly identified as belonging to the Township Fire Department. This creates confusion of command accountability and resource tracking under ICS. My request, I supplied you folks with the quotes that we received and what the different options were for the costs. Option A is full service, whereas Advantage Fleet designs, produces, and installs graphics on site at the Stronach Township Fire Department. This would be a turnkey operation that require no department labor, drive time, and installation are included. Option B, department self-install. That figure is $410.50. The full service fee was $965.50. Department self-install was $410.50. Advanced Fleet designs and produces graphics to the Stronach Fire Department personnel fleet installation. This option C is approximately $555. Effective vital installation on the flat body panels with the UTV is a manageable task with proper surface prep, squeegee, and heat gun. I'm confident that our crews can execute a professional result, and my recommendation would be for option B, savings of $555. That's all I have to report.
You use your RTV that generally in the brush, don't you?
We use it all over.
I mean, are you on the road? I never see it. So we're speaking about getting that thing fitted with chevrons. Okay.
And something that says Stronach Township Fire Department on it, so other departments know who we are, what we're on the scene.
I'll make a motion for option B.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion by Logan Stira, seconded by Terry Zozak to have the fire department take advantage of option B there with the department self-install for $410.50. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what's in the report.
Yeah, yes.
Motion was made, seconded, roll call vote.
Mr. Scarra,
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Ozak,
Yes.
Ms. Gerber, yes, Mr. Vadabunker?
Yes. And that motion is carried. Thank you, Fred. Anything else from fire department other than that? No. Okay. Committee reports, planning. We have planning, zoning board of appeals, board of review, if any. Okay, Ted?
We have two items for you. One is from Networks Northwest, and that's a proposal to redo our master plan. The contract, I believe, is for $20,000. It's $10,000 to start it, and another $10,000 when you're finished. Phil has the proposal before you. It's very standard. Planning does not meet again until September, but to adopt this and to get our master plan reworked, we really need to do a fair amount of things over the summer. So we have a special committee with Dan and myself who are willing to meet with Networks Northwest and get a bunch of the footwork done. I would like to ask that you would give Dan and myself a per diem meeting when we meet with Networks Northwest. I think 3 times in the summer probably, but 4 times maybe. And then we'll have a bunch of stuff ready for you as we come into September and October.
I spoke a little bit with the treasurer regarding the overall cost here. She had a little bit different figure But I do know at the last meeting, we all talked about it and did approve, going with Rob Carson for Networks Northwest. Any questions for you, Carrie, on that?
Well, I mean, we just talked about it was 7,000 to 15,000. So I just said,
Yes, that was verbal, and that was not a rewrite.
okay. So that was just like,
That was just kind of fluff up what we had.
okay. So we're talking the 20,000 is a full rewrite.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, there are some potential other costs, and those have to do with maps, changing some of our maps and incidental things like that. It's outlined in the back of that proposal.
That's going to include a new township map as far as zoning goes. The updated map.
The five pillars, that's also not, master plan, that's zoning.
Okay. All right.
I'm asking, is it,
Yes, I mean, we're going to submit the map material for them, but there's a cost when the map is printed.
I understand that, but we got outdated zoning also.
Yes,
I talked to Rob about it the other day. That's he was talking.
and this group of attorneys, this attorney that we hired to make our proposal for a moratorium is willing to do that. That's a common thing for him to do. He'll have to come up and talk with us about it. But most of those things, other than the moratorium, he will have to do that kind of as a later date when we get near the end of, when we get closer to the end of the master plan, so you can look at the zoning that's going to go with it.
No, my question would be, I guess, why do we have to have it here? Rob Carson is the first one to have it now.
Exactly. I signed. Yeah.
And we're gonna, naturally, you gotta upgrade, there's stuff in there where you have DEQ, DEO and stuff, there's not as many things changes, but I don't see why, attorneys have to be.
Well, he doesn't have to in the right. In the writing of the master plan, he doesn't need to be involved.
Well, my question then would be this. We got a township attorney for that. I got to believe the downstate attorney is a little more expensive. So, as far as the master plan goes and the total cost, we are probably going to approve the $20,000. But if we don't need to use that, I'm sure you're not going to spend it, because we do have a township attorney that could review whatever Rob puts into place.
Yes.
That, as far as that moratorium, that's
Right.
oh, okay. Well, we've talked about any more questions from the board for Ted? We talked about it, so do we have a motion to go ahead and, they want 10,000 up front?
Let's make a motion to deal with, make a deal with Networks North for 10,000 up front, 10,000 later for the master plan. Also, to pay Ted and Dan per diem pay for when they have to meet with a member from Networks North.
I think that's fair. I think if you've got a couple of people that are willing to be working during the summer when the rest of the planning commission is off, I think it's fair for them to get their per diem as far as planning commission. And that would be Ted and Dan. So whatever that per diem is, I ain't got that figure, you do. That motion was made.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Terry Lindeman, second by Logan Starrett, to go ahead and pay Networks Northwest an upfront fee of $10,000 for a complete redo of the master plan with $10,000 balance upon completion, as well as per diem for the planning chair and the planning secretary to do summertime work on that master plan. That's a roll call vote.
Mr. Scarra,
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman,
Yes.
Ms. Sozak,
Yes.
Ms. Gerber, yes, Mr. Vadabunker,
Yes. The motion is carried. The other thing that has got in front of us tonight is, and I know this is short-lived and nobody likes that kind of stuff, but we talked about the data center moratorium. This is an ordinance, y'all have it in front of you, that was put together by the attorney that we suggested that we get at the last township board meeting. And that fee was, we will adopt the data center moratorium. And his fee, is his fee in here? No.
No, you sent the contract letter off from the last.
And I didn't get that back. Contract letter.
Well, he just needed a copy. I'm sure we have a copy.
All right, so the data center moratorium is for 1 year.
It's not for a year.
It's December 31st.
31st. And I
That's
know I'm
renewable.
the one that talked about it several times in the paper, yeah. December 31st. I'm sorry. So, I know there's 3 bills before the Senate that are right now going statewide with 1 year moratorium, so I must have been sticking in my head there for a second. So, we need a roll call vote to adopt this data center moratorium.
I just have a question
Go ahead.
before we do that.
Go ahead.
So since we're not doing a full year, does
Right.
this somewhere in here, because we just got it tonight, does that say, are we able to extend that if
Yes.
it's necessary? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we can extend it.
Mr. Scarra,
Yes.
Mr. Lindeman,
Yes.
Ms. Sozak,
Yes.
Ms. Gerber, yes, Mr. Vadabunker,
I have something that I'd like to add. I believe that this has to be published in paper before we can adopt it.
I think that's correct.
I think if you read further on it, it's a little sheriff something. And I don't believe you do it that way. It's-
Well, you're working with that attorney, whatever is legal is the way it's gonna be, but we can pass it.
I agree with that.
So, that motion was carried. Did you call it? Okay. Any other committee reports? PBA, board review?
Board review has no updates since last month's annual report.
Pardon me?
Board review has nothing to update since last month's annual.
Okay, thanks, Dan. We're gonna get into some public comment now, and of course, later, we're gonna have some items for discussion by the board, but I cut the gentleman off in the back, so go ahead if you've got some questions for the zoning administrator or us.
You said the moratorium was gonna be able to be extended in 6 months?
Yeah, we can extend that.
Okay, that's all my comment.
It's up to the board here to extend that moratorium if we need, but I gotta believe that kicking that can down the road, we'll probably not need to do it. But if we have to, we can. You bet. Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
On the contrary to your beginning statement, as well as kind of the moratorium in general, the large public outcry that you're hearing is not necessarily because we were under the impression a permit was being applied for, but it's the idea of that type of industry coming into this area. And so the public outcry is more of a preventative thing, even if this isn't currently happening. the idea of this happening in the future is also something that we oppose. So, regardless of whether we get a moratorium or not, the idea of it happening, you know,
And who, okay.
January 1st, that's probably not a great idea.
Well, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
So to clarify, as of today, we have a 6-month moratorium until December 31st.
Until December 31st.
So start.
We have adopted.
But it doesn't take effect until the publication or whatever
Right.
the legalese is
Right,
to
but
do
we-
that.
What we actually did was approve it today. So once it's published, it will take effect.
Okay, and what type of teeth does a moratorium have? I mean,
What?
is there some other method beyond a moratorium that would have more teeth? I know in the solar they talk about compatible energy renewal ordinances, a CREO, but that might only pertain to solar and BESS, the battery energy storage facilities. I'm not that familiar with data centers, but word on the street is some of these moratoriums don't really have any teeth to stop anything if they go through state. Just a side note.
Well, that's why you have special uses and plan commissions. They got all kinds of teeth. You know, they don't have to approve anything. And so it has to run the course first through them, and they'll do their homework. Data centers, you're looking at somebody that don't know a whole heck of a lot about data centers. This just creeped up on us too about a month ago. So that's why we have moratorium, so that our planning commission and our zoning administrators can get out there and be more informed, so that when it comes down to it, we could make informed decisions.
Thank you.
You betcha. Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone from any of the committees reached out to the Little River Band? Because they're heavily involved in the water usage.
No, our planning commission and our zoning administrator hasn't reached out to the Little River Band of Ottawa. And if they want us, they can come here. Yes.
And then I was wondering if, as respectfully as I can ask, if there's a possibility that you guys could have a pre-meeting where you guys work with the speakers and maybe become a bit more comfortable with them. Because at some points in time, I don't think you need to do it, but you block the microphone with your hand and it's unable to pick up your volume.
I'm just going to speak to that a little bit. This is the very first meeting that we've used these at, so it is a learning process. So if everybody would just be a little bit patient, that's something we are working on. You know, these weren't here before, so just give us some time and we will work on it. But again, it's got to be way better today than it was before. So it's an improvement and we'll continue to work on it.
Awesome. What I'm asking is there a possibility that you could do like outside of these meetings, test things to kind of get more comfortable?
You know, there are issues with having meetings, and we have to have a public meeting for that. So, you know, I don't think that's really a necessary thing. I think they're doing pretty well. It's just going to be some time, and I think if everybody's patient with us, it will get better and better.
Well put there. Okay. Yeah, the only other way to do something like that is possibly have a work study session. It's almost like the steering committee for the fire authority and things like that. But we're going through the process as best we can right now with the knowledge that we have to address it. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, we as a township board will wind up making the best decisions that we can for the health, the safety, and the welfare of our township residents. And that's all I got to say on that. Anybody else with public comment? Not, I'll move on. Thank you. Speed limit and engine brake signs. Okay, Harry, you mentioned you went to the road commission meeting, you mentioned something about that to them wasn't very well received, or was that?
It was, or that, no, James. It was, okay, the previous, sorry. The first time I approached it was with the previous road commission manager, and they provided us with a bunch of information concerning cost permitting and what ONECMA had done going up to the point. I believe you have that.
I have it.
That paperwork. And they weren't really keen on it. So anyway, last month I approached the new manager. He thought we'd be a lot better to take the money and give it to the sheriff's department and have them come sit out here. That was he was not keen on it, period. That's Manistee County Road Commission. The people up in Coatmish, Mike Walter covered that. They're pretty happy with it. I personally know people in Custer, they have them. They put them in for a fraction of what ONECMA got hammered for, and they're incredibly happy with it.
Well, okay, I did put out a call. Hopefully I was going to have some information by tonight's meeting from one of our local contractors with regards to solar operated, not electrically operated. So he's working on that case. You know that the ones that were put in ONECMA, I actually have the bills and everything in there because I did a little bit of homework back in the day. But then again, issue died because of it. And now just again, it popped up. So just know that I've got calls out, and we're going to see if we can get some prices. My other question to you, Terry, since you were at that road commission meeting, what did they say about the no Jake brake signs that are engine brake signs?
Okay, any information I have on that is actually old information that we had.
Okay.
The problem with Jake brakes is there was legality, this I do know, because Jacobs Engineering is the one that named it. They felt like they were, anyway, went to the courts, can't do that. Engine brakes can be, you put up a sign, no engine brakes, okay? Now, here's the hitch, is that local law enforcement will not enforce any of that. If you have, like Scottville, that was the example I used when I talked to someone from motor carriers, and they have their own police force. So they put in their own ordinance, and they do their own enforcement.
Right.
We can put up engine brake signs, okay? But we have no way to enforce it. That's the skinny on it.
The last time that I heard, the road commission that I sent, I don't know, maybe it's in sync with what you're saying, or maybe it isn't. It was probably 4 years ago. They didn't want them in their road right away. Period.
Yeah.
And so, because they're afraid of liability, from action from truckers and stuff,
Right.
that's where it started to start from. But since we're getting these complaints about engine brakes from various different people in the township, I think the board would be very happy to go ahead and buy those signs if they would put them on their property and outside of the road right away. So we get people that are concerned, but we can put those things, and not have to have them in the road right away and still be visible. So, if that's an idea, that's something that somebody could bring before us.
Yeah, but then I don't know how enforceable that'll be from a lawsuit.
But they're talking signs, but we always did know that you can't enforce it.
Right. And it's kind of
Will it help? Will it help? That would be like the sheriff putting his speed sign out there. Will it help? For a day.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a cyclical kind of thing. It seems like, for the most part, you have a few people coming through, and I notice that it's not always the same company. I'm guessing, just guessing, they get some new drivers, and they just like to do that, you know. And
But the complaints
but
keep coming.
the complaints come, but it's not as bad as it was a couple of years ago.
No, I know,
For
and I
whatever-
know that.
for whatever that's worth.
At one time, we used to have no Jake Blake. We weren't demanding them to not use them. We had signs that said, no Jake Blake, please. That's what happened. Don't look at it.
So basically, you're putting up a suggestion, you know, please don't do that.
Yeah. So that's where speed limit signs are, as far as the, speed limit and that sign. You want me to continue? We're gonna drop, or we're gonna table the engine brake signs. Because I'm not getting any,
We should at least see a
How's that
price.
thing?
I think we should at least see a price on them. And then if it's an acceptable price, then we can talk to
engine
suppliers.
brake signs you're talking?
Yeah, solar one, speed limit one.
Speed limit, the electric, speed limit signs.
Yeah.
We might want to think about where to put them. It's suggested up on Stronach Road, and then at the Fifth Track, and then down here at the bridge.
That would be,
Original thought.
that would be my.
Definitely a start.
I think the ones in Coatmich are the solar powered ones.
I think they are too.
Those are really nice.
Yep.
The ones in Custer are also.
No, I don't think I've seen those, but, yeah.
I haven't seen the ones at Custer, but I have seen the ones at Colton. And they work fine. I mean, you can see them.
When we go through, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it, I would prefer those.
I'll get some prices on that. I got somebody working on it right now. Keys and door locks. I've had Phil working on, well, these two doors right there. Those are Primus locks that can only be put on or duplicated by the same factory that produced them, the same company. So, and that was the reason why we went to those types of keys back in the day, was because there was too many people having access with too many keys, and too much stuff was missing. So when I got to be a supervisor, I went and got them locks, and I changed them all. So they can only be used for those people who I hand them out to, and it's documented, so that if they ever get lost, they're responsible for them, and they don't get it. Period. They have to be fixed by Northwest Lock, I believe it is. I've talked to the guy several times. They do not come down to Manistee anymore. Can't find help, and they will not come down here. But I did graphite the heck out of those things and move them up. And the irons do seem to be working a little better. I don't know if anybody else has tried the keys or not, but mine seem to be working a little better in there. If it continues on, what I'll do is I'll take them right out. I'll take them right out, and I'll take them up and get them fixed with the approval of the board and see what happens, because that's the only way they're going to get replaced. Other than that, then we start going buying brand new locks, the keys for this, and start handing them out to all the boards and commissioners, again with new keys and new locks. And this is probably the easiest way that I can think of doing it. So just keep monitoring it, try your keys, and so I grabbed the graphite, and the loop seems to be working a little better. There's pins two different ways in those locks. So. The mulch are on there. I already told him to get that mulch.
Okay. How many bags you want him to get?
What he needs.
Okay.
You know, if it's going to prevent somebody from rolling an ankle out there, well. We had a budget meeting.
He was also asking about the fence on the cemetery.
I asked him if that got damaged. Did that get damaged by the tree? Well, that fence at the cemetery?
Yes.
It did. He told me no.
And he was also wondering about when and if we repair it, if we could put a gate there, maybe
A what?
not a gate, not a double gate, but a single gate to make it easier for lawn or for the leaf removal.
I put a double gate in there just a couple of years ago for that same reason. I think it's good enough.
The double gate is?
Yeah.
And he wants a gate on what side of it?
I don't know.
It's probably the opposite
That's
side.
that's the only way. That's not our property. You're only going to go off the north side.
Okay.
That's it. And I'm not real sure that part of it's our property, to be honest with you, outside the fence. Nobody's ever said anything. But there are signs on the other side. Harry, you got a direct deposit thing here going on, right?
Actually, that's Lauren. She's got the.
Pardon?
She's Lauren.
There was a number of requests for direct deposit of paychecks. And so it was brought to the board, I was bringing it to the board. Is that something that we would consider?
As I suggested before, I think you'll have some pushback from some people. So Lori and I had talked about it, and we talked about saying, okay, you're be grandfathered in now if you want a physical check, but anybody, if we move to this direct deposit system, anybody who comes on board after this will then have to go to direct deposit. Connie Tews, our accountant, also talked about it, and she said this would be better because you're not going to have all these uncashed checks as well.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't have a problem with either way. As long as you talk to the people who you're printing the checks to, and I don't see a problem.
I don't have a problem with it.
One way or the other.
Yeah, there would have to be a form that's saying that they would agree to direct deposit, except for new ones coming in, that's the only thing that's offered.
Right.
Is direct deposit.
Sure. You can go do that as you go. Really. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think anybody else does either.
Fire department would be the next biggest issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're one of the ones that were complaining.
That they wanted it?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I'm with them.
me too.
Well, I had one or two of them that were sitting on checks for like about 6 years.
They
We
should
still
automatically
do.
donate them back at that point.
No, they got them updated. Okay,
About the budget meeting.
the budget meeting will be on the 23rd. Is that a Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. We have been working on it. We have tentative budget worked out. Still got to be in the final printing. We still have to amend this year's budget. That's going to be happening real quick because we're going to want to take care of that at that same meeting. And so we should be in pretty good shape for that budget meeting. The biggest thing is going to be amending this past year's budget. We have quite a bit of it. So that's what we got for that. So we're going to do the agenda for the next meeting is going to be some more information on the fire authority. Lori, what else you got there?
Road signs, speed signs. Master plan, maybe?
I don't think we'll have an update.
Okay.
It'll be an update.
They can do that committee reports anyway.
You got your next, you're going to have two more planning meetings coming up, right, Ted? Like, you tell me you got two more regular planning meetings coming up? You're done now? I guess for right now, unless somebody else has got anything else to put on there, we'll let that ride until we see what happens during the course of the month. Does anybody have any more business come before the board? Any questions, concerns? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting. It is adjourned. Thank you. Once again, thanks everybody for coming. We like to see good crowds.